All right, let's dive into something every single developer has felt but maybe doesn't talk about enough. We're talking about that slow, sneaky creep of digital junk that just devours our hard drives. Let's get into what's really going on here. You know that feeling, right? You go to check your computer's storage and you're just confused. Where did all those gigabytes go? You swear you haven't downloaded that much, but the numbers, well, they don't lie. Something is just gobbling up all your valuable space. And for those of us who write code for a living, the culprit usually isn't what you'd expect. It's not a bunch of huge video files or photo libraries. Nope. The source of our disk space headache is sitting right there, in our project folders, growing bigger and bigger with every new repo we clone and every npm install we run. Yeah, we're talking about all the extra baggage that comes with modern software development. Every cool app, every little test utility, every website you build, it brings this whole ecosystem of other code along for the ride. And that, my friends, is what we can call developers' digital clutter. Think about it. To get your project up and running, you pull in all these packages and dependencies, like that infamous node_modules folder. You might only need one tiny function from a package, but you end up downloading the entire thing, plus all of its dependencies, and then their dependencies. It just snowballs like crazy. And this is where it gets really eye-opening. Just look at these numbers. For a project that's 650 megabytes, more than 95% of that can be just the node_modules folder. It's absolutely staggering when you see it laid out like this. And remember, that's just one project. Now, multiply that by all the projects you've ever worked on or tinkered with or just flat out abandoned over the years. You are literally left with gigabytes, sometimes tens of gigabytes, of forgotten files just sitting there, taking up space for no reason at all. But what if there was a simple way to fight back? A tool designed specifically for this exact problem. Well, that's what we're looking at today. Say hello to ReclaimSpace. So what is it? Put simply, ReclaimSpace is a command line tool. That just means you run it in your terminal and it automates the whole process of finding and deleting all that developer clutter we've been talking about. And just look at these features. This shows it's not just some basic delete script. It's really fast thanks to something called concurrent scanning, and it's smart enough to find all those weird build artifacts. But most importantly, it's safe. It gives you options like interactive deletion and even a dry run mode, so you're always in control. Okay, so what is it actually looking for? Let's break down the main targets, the biggest offenders that this tool is designed to hunt down and eliminate. It really focuses on three main categories. First, you've got the big one, node modules, of course. Second, it finds all those temporary build and cache folders like dist or .next that get created when you compile your code. And third, it cleans up the output from running tests, like coverage reports. These are all things you can safely delete because they can just be regenerated the next time you need them. Now, I know what you're thinking. A tool that deletes files automatically sounds, well, kind of scary. But ReclaimSpace is built from the ground up with safety in mind. It gives you this really clear three-step way to clean your machine. The whole workflow is designed to build your confidence. You can start with what I call the safe peek. Just use the -dry flag, and it'll show you everything it would delete without actually touching a single file. Then you can move on to the guided cleanup and approve each deletion one by one. And finally, once you're comfortable, you can go for the total sweep to automate the whole thing. And hey, you've got even more granular control. You're not stuck with just a full system scan. You can actually tell the tool to only look in a specific directory, or even tell it which folders to ignore completely. Super flexible. So why does any of this really matter? I mean, sure, getting back gigabytes of disk space is awesome, but the benefits here go so much deeper than that. This is really about creating a better, cleaner environment to work in. I mean, the transformation is pretty dramatic. You go from this cluttered, hard-to-navigate system with painfully slow backups to a clean, organized, and much leaner machine. You're left with only the projects you're actually working on, and everything just feels faster and way more manageable. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Digital hygiene is just as important as code hygiene. A clean machine gets rid of distractions, it speeds up your whole system, and it just lets you focus on what you actually do best, building incredible things. We spend so much time making sure our code is elegant and efficient and readable, so it's worth taking a second to look at our own file systems and ask that simple question. Is my machine getting that same level of care?